ranking the quarterbacks within the division from 1 through 4. That's what we're about to do here on the NFC West Roundtable. Top quarterback all the way down to who you think as of right now is in the basement at number 4. Jake, I'm going to start with you because I think I know the obvious answer to your number 1. I'm interested to hear the rest of your list, but talk to me. Your hierarchy in the NFC West Roundtable, 4 quarterbacks, 1 through 4.
I'm going to say number 4 is Sam Darnold. I like Sam. I think he's a good quarterback. I think all 4 of these teams are good. I think all 4 of these teams have good quarterbacks. But that said, I just think, at the end of the day, he's a little bit behind Kyler Murray, and he's definitely behind Brock Purdy. So I'm going to put Sam Darnold 4th. I don't love his decision-making. Okay, number 3, Kyler Murray. I like Kyler more than the next guy. The Call of Duty stuff is totally a joke. I like, busting Mike's balls there, but obviously I like Mike and I like Kyler. I've liked Kyler since I watched him in college. And I feel like Kyler, there's a level of hate that he gets where I feel like, okay, it's justified to a degree. He hasn't taken that next step. I get that. But at the same time, I don't think we're giving him credit for the things that he does really well. And we all on this panel have agreed in the past. I don't know if we still agree, but I'd imagine we do. Kyler is the most physically talented of all the 4 quarterbacks in this division. So number 2 is Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is playing a Super Bowl. I think Brock Purdy, a lot of people like to focus on how he's just a system quarterback, but I would argue he's made that system a lot better than what it could be. And I've defended Brock Purdy for a while. I still have issues with paying him with the Tommy John under his belt, and he's had some issues there. But you have Matthew Stafford, who I just think he's one of the best throwers of the football I've ever seen in my life. Can make any throw on the field, has an absolute dart. And, I feel like even despite the fact he's 37 and he deals with ailing injuries, it seems like every year, I just think every single game, he makes a throw that I've never seen before.
So I got to go over to Brandon now because I'm interested to see where Darnold lands. And if he's higher than 4, I'm interested to hear the rebuttal. So Brandon, your top 4 quarterbacks in the NFC West.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Jake talk about the lack of imagination towards a Stafford that has a narrative hit in his first stop that he just can't shake, or that Geno had hit that he just couldn't shake. And now you have in Sam Darnold, another guy who's got a very strong narrative behind him as to what he is and who he is that he just can't seem to shake. The year he had last year, you don't just luck into. A coach doesn't just hold your hand and put training wheels on your feet, and that gets you through the season, especially when you consider the pressure numbers, how much he was sacked in totality on the year. I know the last view is the one that sticks in our mind, recency bias and all that with Sam Darnold. I get it. It was your Ramsey played. I get it. It was twice last year they played it that you guys give it. I get it. But that's not who he is or what he's become as a player. And I don't think he's necessarily a special player. This is about fit and fit to the offense. And I mention this because I think we're all going to be in agreement, Z-Bot, on the first 2 here, which is that it is Stafford the one. He's by far an easy one. Nobody should debate that at all. In Purdy's case, he's done enough to earn that second spot. And last year, not having as much of a supporting cast around him like he had through the first couple of years solidifies that. So this really, to me, I think for all 4 of us is going to come down to the bottom 2 on this, Z-Bot. But for me, on my perspective of it, I would take Darnold in at 3 over Kyler Murray. I think that I have to push back on a lot of the things that Jake said about Kyler Murray and that height hasn't been an issue or it's been overstated. Quite the opposite. I talked to a Seahawks reporter who said he stood next to Kyler Murray and he swears on his life that the guy's 5'5" when I was at training camp this year. 5'5".
Hey, don't dunk on the short kings.
5. That's not the most talented quarterback because when you're that short now, that becomes a very limiting factor.
I got to keep following the pattern. Mike, I'll swing it down to you here. Your opportunity to defend Kyler heading into year 7. We've talked about it a bunch here where we do know it's a big year for Kyler. It has to step up in order to justify continuing to do what you and the rest of Cardinals fans do, right? Try to be confident going into the year saying Kyler is going to reach that potential. So your top 4 quarterbacks in the NFC West.
So I'll start from the 1 to 2 because I do agree. I mean, last year I remember very vividly, very fighting tooth and nail for Kyler Murray to be above Brock Purdy and all this different stuff. But really looking at it kind of from the outside looking in, Brock Purdy has accomplished a lot in terms of a team. Now, I know Kyler's got the accolades, but as of right now, like, unless I see Kyler Murray take that next step and win those big games, it's hard for me to put him at number 2. And I know it's going to piss off a lot of Cardinal fans, but it's okay. I'm being real here. But going back to the whole Sam Darnold thing, I think we're inflating what he did with Kevin O'Connell and the weapons and the stability of what these Minnesota Vikings has done. Now, yes, he went 4 for 4 in this last game. Congratulations on the preseason game. But I mean, other than that, like, he really hasn't accomplished much other than 1 year. He's still Sam Darnold. I see ghosts. That's all he is. I mean, to say he's better than, or not better than Kyler Murray, but to put him at number 3 is crazy, in my opinion.
Jesse, you had a brief stint with Sam Darnold, so you might know him a bit more than most. He was with the Niners in 2023, but as we know, Brock Purdy paid this offseason, and now he's got to go out and continue to prove that money that he earned. So talk to me, 1 through 4, your top NFC West quarterbacks.
Matthew Stafford is the most hated quarterback by 49er fans for whatever reason. I mean, I get it. He's in the division, but people just in the 49er fan base really don't appreciate how good he is. The stat watch and what, I don't know, but Matthew Stafford is the number 1 quarterback, and it's not particularly close. Brock Purdy's the number 2 quarterback, and it's also not particularly close. So now it comes down to 3 and 4. Kyler Murray, yes, I agree with Brandon, has been given this long rope where he hasn't really done the things that you would expect. The talent level says that he should be more than what he's done. Maybe he should run more. It sounds like he's talked about that this offseason, that he's going to start doing those things. But that then also doesn't mean that he's the 4th best quarterback in this division. Sam Darnold has 1 season. Sam Darnold was a turnover machine in college. Sam Darnold was a turnover machine every chance that he got up until last year. And then in the 2 games that mattered most, he wet the bed. So Sam Darnold, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. We'll see how he is, but at least give me 2 years in this league where you can show competent quarterback play, regardless of the situation, what's going on. The way that I judge quarterbacks, and it's tough, right? Because you have quarterbacks that are put into awful situations. There's no doubt about that. Some quarterbacks are blessed with their situations. But regardless of who's around you, decision-making is decision-making. And Sam Darnold has been, historically, an awful decision-maker throughout the entirety of his career. So until I see something different, I have to put him at number 4. We'll see.